Tech Cocktail Conversations, candid insights from startup founders, entrepreneurs, and thought leaders from around the globe.
It's actually really exciting because South by Southwest is our official anniversary because we announced Delivering Happiness, the movement, and the company as a startup exactly 1 year ago. We're announcing a lot of different things this year. Number one is that we're officially launching the Delivering Happiness comic book that we developed with our friends at Roundtable Companies. But since we launched the movement, it's been pretty amazing to see the growth in terms of the number of people that are joining the community. We're now in basically 90 countries and 1,300 cities. And so just thinking about the number of pure countries out there, that's over half of the countries in the world, about a third of the number of cities in the world. And so it's pretty exciting to see that was just in one short year. The other things we were announcing is that we launched officially a couple sort of business units so that we can support the movement and basically make us a sustainable company. One of it is DH at Work, so basically helping companies realize happiness as a business model. And the other one is DH Shop, so selling merchandise. We call it merchandise with a mission, basically to fuel the movement and the community around happiness. So basically the thing that we pretty much point to is our Zappos.com, obviously, with all the stuff that we've seen there and the experience that we had. So basically how they grew from knowing that as a startup, all they wanted to do was basically sell shoes. But then they matured, and then they said, well, actually, we want to focus on customer service. Then they matured again and said, you know what, we really want to focus on employees and make them happy with the thought that if you make your employees happy, everything else comes more naturally, like having great customer service and being a profitable company. And then ultimately, after a couple more years of maturing, they realized, you know, what we really want to do is deliver happiness to the world. And that understanding of how you can actually be a profitable and successful company, you know, that they sold to Amazon.com for $1.2 billion at the time of closing, knowing that you can actually lead companies and make successful and profitable companies and employees happy with happiness. So why not turn that into a model that we can actually help other companies realize? I mean, and especially when you're representing something called Delivering Happiness, people are like, you can't be happy every day, can you? And knowing the startup life especially, it's like no sleep, you're working all the time, and everyone's kind of like high stress, high pressure because this is the time of do or die. And so what it comes back down to me is like, and I encourage everyone on the team to remember the reasons why we got into this place in the first place. You know, and it goes back to what we talk about in core values and happiness as a business model is what's your higher purpose? Like, what's the reason that you're actually doing these things? And by reminding yourself that, you know, for my reason of delivering happiness, it's just like, what an amazing opportunity to actually increase the levels of happiness in the world. Like, why wouldn't I do that? So when I'm having a bad day, when it's raining or whatever, I just come back to why am I doing this stuff and who am I working with? And that just kind of brightens me up because I feel lucky to have that around me. Just that's the fact that you have no idea what's going to happen. Like, the uncertainty, it freaks you out, but it's exciting at the same time. But knowing that you're doing it with the people that you care about, you know, you build a team, you believe in them, and you believe in the concept, and then that's all that really matters. The publisher, Roundtable Companies, approached us and said, hey, we're interested in a comic book. So we're thinking, that'd be kind of cool to see everyone in animated form. So that's what happened with that. We're up to 18 languages now that's being translated. We're working on Spanish, and next is German and Dutch. Basically going back to the whole thought of the fact that we're increasing the levels of happiness in the world and the fact that we actually can quantify it. So mentioning earlier, like, we're in over half the countries in the world, a third of the cities. How do we up that so that 2/3 of the world will actually be